Assalamu alaikum. 6 p.m. This is Radio Pakistan. The news read by Sumera Kamal. The headlines first. An earthquake of 5.8 on Richter scale jolted different parts of the country this afternoon, causing human and property losses in Azad Kashmir. Prime Minister has called for immediate lifting of all restrictions, including curfew, release of prisoners, and respect for human rights of Kashmiri people. Pakistan Army spokesperson says irresponsible statements by Indian military commanders about Azad Jammu and Kashmir are expression of frustration due to their failure to handle situation in occupied Jammu and Kashmir. Special Assistant to Prime Minister on Information says Pakistan is taking all possible measures to ensure freedom of expression. Iranian president has rejected the joint statement of France, Germany and the United Kingdom, blaming Tehran for recent attack on Saudi oil refinery. And now the news in detail. Jolts of earthquake measuring 5.8 on the Richter scale were felt in different parts of the country. According to National Seismic Monitoring Center, Islamabad, the epicenter of the earthquake was 5 kilometers north of Jhelum when its depth was recorded as 10 kilometers. The tremors were felt in Islamabad, Daska, Lahore, Faisalabad, Peshawar, Chiniot, Mansehra, Batgram, Torgar, Mirpur Khas, Bimber, Jhelum and Mandi Bahauddin. Army Chief General Qamar Javed Bajwa has directed immediate rescue operation in aid of civil administration for victims of earthquake in Azad Kashmir. According to a tweet by Director General ISPR, Major General Asif Ghafoor, Army troops with aviation and medical support teams have been dispatched to the affected sites. Prime Minister Imran Khan has called for the immediate lifting of all restrictions, including the curfew, release of all prisoners, stop in the use of pellet guns, and respect for human rights of Kashmiri people. He was talking to his Italian counterpart, Giuseppe Conte, on the sidelines of the 74th session of the United Nations General Assembly in New York. Imran Khan briefed the Italian Prime Minister on the legal, humanitarian, and peace and security dimensions of the situation in occupied Jammu and Kashmir. Prime Minister Imran Khan has briefed Turkish President Recep Tayyip Erdogan on the latest situation since India's illegal and unilateral actions of 5th August to alter the disputed status of occupied Jammu and Kashmir. Briefing the Turkish president on the sidelines of 74th session of the UN General Assembly in New York, Imran Khan said India's efforts to change occupied Kashmir's demographic structure contravened numerous UN Security Council's resolutions, international law, and India's own prior commitments. He emphasized that the dire human rights and humanitarian situation in occupied Kashmir has posed grave threats for peace and security in the region. Prime Minister Imran Khan has underscored Pakistan's desire to further strengthen good neighborly relations with Iran and build mutually beneficial cooperation in diverse areas. He was talking to Iranian President Hassan Rouhani during an important meeting in New York held on the sidelines of 74th session of the UN General Assembly. The Prime Minister thanked the Iranian leadership, especially Supreme Leader Ayatollah Ali Khamenei, for expressing unequivocal support for the Kashmiri people and their legitimate rights. Prime Minister has reiterated the illegal and unilateral actions of India are aimed at altering the international recognized disputed status of occupied Kashmir by violating numerous UN SC resolutions and international law. This reiteration came during meeting of Chinese Foreign Minister Wang Yi and Prime Minister Imran Khan in New York. Wang Yi reiterated commitment of Chinese leadership to support Pakistan on all issues of its core national interest, including Kashmir. Director General Inter-Services Public Relations Major General Asif Ghafoor has said many false flag operation or misadventure by India will have serious consequences for regional peace. In a tweet, he said Indian military commanders' accusations of infiltration or presence of alleged terrorist camps in Pakistan are pretext for a false flag operation or misadventure. The DGISPR said armed forces are fully prepared to respond to any aggression or misadventure regardless of cost. He said irresponsible statements by Indian military commanders, particularly about Azad Jammu and Kashmir, are expression of their frustration due to their failure to handle situation in Indian-occupied Jammu and Kashmir. He said it is an Indian attempt to divert world's attention from Indian state terrorism and siege of occupied Kashmir. This is Radio Pakistan. Special Assistant to Prime Minister on Information and Broadcasting Dr. Firdaus Ashiq-e-Wan says Pakistan believes in freedom of expression and is taking all possible measures to provide equal opportunities to all segments of society in this regard. Addressing a digital media training workshop in Islamabad today, she said government is committed to strengthen social media parallel to digital media as it is the most effective tool in current world. Firdaus Ashiq-e-Wan said use of social media is inevitable in implementation of government's digitalization policy and PTI reforms agenda. Special Assistant to Prime Minister on National Health Services Dr. Zafar Mirza says medicines for the treatment of dengue patients and test kits to diagnose the virus are available in sufficient quantity in all hospitals. Addressing a news conference in Islamabad today, he said outbreak of virus will be controlled in next few days and all-out efforts are being made to provide medical facilities to dengue patients. He said there is no dearth of medicines in the hospitals of federal capital. The special assistant said a hotline has been established to guide people regarding the dengue virus and expert doctors are available on 051 921 6890, 051 921 2601 round the clock. The All Parties Hurriyat Conference Azad Jammu and Kashmir chapter staged a strong protest in Islamabad today to condemn Indian brutalities and its illegal steps in occupied Kashmir. The protesters were holding banners and placards inscribed with anti-Modi and pro-Kashmiri slogans. They raised full-throttle slogans against Indian tyranny and oppression on the defenseless Kashmiri people. In occupied Kashmir, normal life continues to get hit across the valley for the 51st consecutive day today. According to Kashmir Media Service, all small and major sectors of life, including business and commerce, education, transport, horticulture and tourism are virtually defunct with unprecedented communications blockade. Schools, colleges and universities are either closed or remain empty as parents are reluctant to send their children to educational institutions. As mobile phone and internet services continue to remain suspended, officials say they have no plans to restore them in the near future. Transport sector has been affected worse as 50,000 vehicles stand grounded since 5th of August. Similarly, the tourism front has also taken a due hit due to clampdown and all hotels are almost empty and taxi service is unavailable too. In a series of latest cordon and search operations in different areas of Kishtwar district, Indian forces arrested at least 3 youth. Indian officials confirmed that as many as 343 politicians, business leaders and young boys booked under Black Law, Public Safety Act have been shifted to jails in Uttar Pradesh and Haryana in India since 5th August. Meanwhile, the Srinagar-based Kashmir Press Club, while criticizing the unprecedented communications shutdown in Kashmir Valley, has said that these unreasonable restrictions are aimed at engaging the press in the territory. In Afghanistan, a senior Taliban leader was killed in a clash with the Afghan security forces in northern Takhar province today. A provincial government spokesperson said the key local militant leader, Qari Mahmood, who was the outfit's complaints committee in charge in Takhar, was killed and one of his bodyguards were seriously injured in an armed clash erupted in Bandar-e-Akhenom area of the province. Meanwhile, 39 Taliban have been killed in 2 separate clashes in Zabul and Badakhshan province. Iranian President Hassan Rouhani has rejected the joint statement issued by France, Germany and the United Kingdom in which Iran was blamed for the recent attack on Saudi oil refinery. He made the remarks in a meeting with his French counterpart Emmanuel Macron in New York. Earlier, Britain, Germany and France backed the United States and blamed Iran for attack on Saudi oil establishment and urged Tehran to agree for new talks with the world powers on its nuclear and missile programs and regional security issues. The Sri Lankan cricket team is arriving in Karachi tonight to play in one-day and T20 series against Pakistan. The one-day series between Pakistan and Sri Lanka will be played in the National Stadium in Karachi, while T20 series will be played in the Qaddafi Stadium in Lahore. The visiting team will have a rest day tomorrow and will take part in training session in the National Stadium on Thursday. The first one-day cricket match will be played between both teams on Friday. And finally, the weather. Mainly hot and humid weather is likely to prevail in most parts of the country during the next 24 hours. However, rain with wind thunderstorm is expected at isolated places in Islamabad, Rawalpindi, Gujranwala, Mirpur Khas, Hyderabad, Karachi, Hazara divisions, and Kashmir. And that is the end of the news. For more news and analyses, log on to our website, radio.gov.pk, and also watch live streaming of our bulletins on the link facebook.com/radio Pakistan News Official.